Is it possible to run a sub 6-minute mile as a powerlifter? And more importantly, does running every single day completely kill your strength? Because if you spend any time in the lifting world, you've probably heard that cardio can kill your gains. So instead of arguing about it online, I wanted to test it in the most extreme way I possibly could think of. So I ran every single day, 25 days out from powerlifting competition, while working 60 plus hours a week, cutting weight, and obviously preparing for the competition. But before we get into it, let me tell you the context. I've always hated running my entire life. So deciding to run every single day wasn't really something I was excited about. I started at 168 pounds, and if I missed weight for the competition, it wouldn't even matter. So to be clear, this wasn't a perfect scenario. This was stress stacked on stress. Lifting, running, cutting weight, and working long hours, which makes this a pretty honest test. Going into this, I was genuinely scared if I was going to get weaker. Running every day goes completely against what most powerlifters are told. I expected my recovery to be challenged, but I still wanted to know, because if running really destroyed your gains, the worst possible time to do it would be right before a competition. So if it was going to hurt me, it would show. Now let's talk about what actually happened during those 25 days. On day one, my mile time was 7 minutes and 17 seconds, and from a running standpoint, I felt very out of shape. My breathing and pacing felt completely off. It was obvious my body wasn't used to that sustained effort. In the gym early on, things felt pretty normal. On day one, I was able to bench 235 pounds for 4 pause reps, but honestly, that first week of running felt really rough. Every run felt hard, and every run required pushing through discomfort. Nothing felt smooth yet. Then day 7 came, and I ran a 6 minute and 37 second mile time. And that was my first real sign that the running was adapting, even though it still felt extremely uncomfortable. And around that same time in the gym, my bench was moving extremely well. On day 10, I was able to bench 245 pounds for 5 pause reps. That's 10 pounds more and an extra rep compared to where I started on day 1. Then the second half of the block came, and everything started to feel way different. The running no longer felt foreign, but it did feel heavier. Holding pace required more focus, showing up every day became more mental than physical, and in the gym, small changes started to happen. Like, my warm-up started to feel heavier, pauses slowed down, some days required more rest between sets. Nothing dramatic, but enough to notice. Then day 14 came, and I ran a 6 minute and 7 second mile time. And at that point, the fitness was clearly there. The challenge shifted from improvement to managing fatigue. As the days went on, the fatigue finally showed up in the numbers, unfortunately. Because by the end of the 25 days, my bench went down to 235 pounds for 3 pause reps, which was 1 rep less than where I started on day 1. And on paper, that looks like strength loss, but context matters. I was still running every single day, I was still cutting weight, and I was still training heavy. Then day 25 came, and I was extremely nervous because this was the day of the powerlifting competition and the final mile test. I've done everything I could in those 25 days. Now it was about seeing what would actually show up when it mattered. So I stepped on the scale, and the first real moment of relief, I weighed in at 161, safely under the limit for my class. That also meant I was about 4 pounds under the weight I was competing at. I was still eligible to compete, but it did mean I was giving a little bit of leverage compared to being at the top of the class, which was 165 pounds. Then it was finally time to bench, and on my first attempt, I was extremely nervous, and I completely forgot to follow the commands correctly. I got 3 red lights, so the lift was completely ruled a miss. And that moment absolutely crushed me. I was honestly in disbelief at what just happened. The whole time leading up to the competition, I kept telling myself the same thing. Remember the commands, remember the commands. And when it was my turn, the nerves got to me. While I was waiting to go back for my second attempt, I knew one thing. I wasn't leaving the platform without a lift on the board. So for the second attempt, I made sure I was executing clean and doing exactly what the judges asked. I went out and I benched 245 pounds, pause. The lift counted, and it officially set the state record, but I knew that wasn't what I was capable of. The second attempt was just to secure the state record, but the third attempt was about showing what I actually been training for. On the final attempt, I benched 260 pounds, pause, and that broke my own state record by 15 pounds. Right after that, I left the venue and I went straight for the final mile test. No rest day, no recovery window. When I started running, it was the most mentally challenging run I've done in my entire life. But I knew what I was capable of, and all I could think about was how good it would feel once I got it. And that gave me that little extra push I needed, and I ended up running 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So after 25 days of running every single day, after cutting weight, and after lifting heavy throughout the entire time, I was finally able to reach my goals. Then after the run, it was time to go back to where I competed at for the powerlifting competition for the awards. And I ended up getting first place for the competition. Now, after all of this, a really common question is, do you still run today, 2 months after the competition? And the answer is yes. Right now I run every single rest day, which is 2 times a week. Not because I'm chasing another mile PR, but because I worked so hard to earn that sub 6-minute mile to just let it disappear. So right now I'm running to maintain it. But lifting is still priority. Strength is still the goal. Running is just a tool that I use now, not something I avoid anymore. Now the question everyone wants to know, does running kill your gains? And here's the honest answer. During this process, I cut 7 pounds to make weight. So when you look at the strength dip in the gym, I doubt running was the main reason I felt weaker. If your only goal is to get as jacked as possible, running every single day like I did probably isn't necessary. But running itself isn't the enemy. Poor programming is. Running improved my conditioning.
I'm not trying at all. But day one, Diego would think I would be on good pace right now. So it's just crazy seeing progress like that.
And I'd also say my physique definitely improved during those 25 days. The strength dip people blame on running is usually a combination between poor recovery, poor nutrition, and poor structure, not running itself. So yes, it's possible with the right structure, your body can adapt way faster than most people believe. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions about running, lifting, or programming, drop them in the comments. I read all of them. This is my client Ethan, who works over 60+ hours every single week, and this is his 30-day transformation. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one to take your physique to the next level, click the first link below, book a call, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the team.